And welcome to Access Sports Weekly live here on YouTube and Twitter. Bo Wilson alongside Jeff Hart and our producer, Seth Chapman. Welcome into the show, everyone. And guys, welcome to another week of high school athletics.
Yeah. I think we're into the basketball tournaments finally.
I always shock you when I say that, don't you?
Yes.
You're like,
I never know what you're going to say, Bo. I never know what you're going to say.
This is very true.
You know, the thing is, I don't know what I'm going to say, so we're good.
I can believe that.
We're good on that point.
I can believe that.
10 area teams advancing to the second round of the state tournament on Tuesday night.
We had a little thing we do in the office. We
Just
had
a little
we have an
thing.
over-under of how many teams that we thought would make it out of our 27.
27.
We've already hit the over.
Right, but only because we did toss-ups.
Well, that's true. Now, if we include the toss-ups,
If we include the toss-ups, we're pretty good.
we're about right where we thought.
Yep.
Which I don't know if that bodes well for the teams playing today.
So Towns can't. Yeah. Yeah.
Look,
Towns
we want
County.
everybody to win. We want everyone to win.
Everyone
we
needs
want
to win.
everyone to win. And
So-
we'll just leave it right there.
Towns County, our surprise in the first round.
Wow,
Girls
yes.
beating Central Talbot. Is it Talbotton? Talbotton?
Talbotton.
Talbotton.
Central Talbotton.
Talbot. Is it
Talbotton.
Talbotton?
Talbotton.
It's Taw.
I don't know.
Who
You know,
knows?
Georgia calls
is the
it
L
Look,
silent.
I don't know. Georgia calls Lafayette. So it could be anything.
I know, and you have to.
And it's not Albany, it's Albany. Georgia has its own. Yes. That's what I've always been told. No, but I'm from Alabama, as you constantly remind me.
So the question.
What do you mean as he constantly reminds you? As you constantly remind us?
No, but
Jeff.
he always brings it up. That,
You know,
well, you're
back
from
when I was in Tuscaloosa watching tennis.
I think I've heard the word Tuscaloosa leave your face more times than I've heard my own name.
I heard that this morning on the way in about, what was it, track and field, tennis, then baseball.
Oh, yeah, Dream Saturday.
Spend the day in Tuscaloosa.
Well, I as a kid, we
Jeff
would go
is
to
a walking
track.
Tuscaloosa vacation ad.
Visit.
You know, I need to check
Visit
into
the
that.
Holiday
Maybe
Inn
I do.
in
I
downtown
need to,
That's not
I
a
need to
joke.
get some
You
residuals.
could do that.
I could get some residuals for that.
For
I
what?
think.
Tuscaloosa?
Yeah, I think
You're going to
so.
do like one of those come to Tuscaloosa
That's our next
See the
segment. That's
beautiful
next week's
sights.
segment.
of
Actually,
Tuscaloosa.
having lived there, other than
Jeff,
the
will you
university,
please agree to shoot that with me for next week's segment?
Sure, absolutely.
Excellent. That's
Hi,
what's happening.
I'm Jeff Rohart for Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Other than the University of Alabama, there ain't a whole lot to do there.
Not a whole lot to
I
do,
mean,
no.
we found things to do, like
Watch tennis and watch
we would go out and
track
sit
and
on the
field.
dam. We would go out and sit on the dam. That was big. That was big on a Friday night.
You would sit on
The
dam.
Yeah, well, the big Black Warrior River, and there's a lock and dam. I mean, part of the river's up high, and when you're at the other part, it's like way down low because it's hilly, and so you could go sit on the dam. I mean, it's like 200 feet straight down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was.
Said no whenever. Maybe
I
as
think
a
I
kid.
just said it. Therefore, that statement is invalid.
Therefore, that statement is true, right?
Invalid.
Okay, back to Towns County.
Oh,
being,
not Tuscaloosa.
We have left Tuscaloosa.
Oh, thank God.
We've headed to God's country, Georgia. Banks County, or check that, Towns County.
Towns County.
Girls, would you call that an upset? This is like your second Sweet 16 in a couple of years. Or
yes,
3
I
years.
would, because Central
3 years.
Talbotton.
Is it Talbotton?
Central.
Okay, whatever.
Central.
Sure.
They were the state runners-up last year.
Okay.
In Class A. I'm going to go with an upset on that.
Well,
they were on the road. They've kind of been a team that's been a little bit up and down. I think I'd put that as an upset.
2 versus a 3.
All I know is they don't care.
Yeah, right. And
They're moved on.
that was one of the games that I lost because I'll just go ahead and admit this. We did it on the podcast.
Uh-oh.
I picked Towns County to fall in the first round. Well,
I think we both
they proved me wrong.
Yeah, I think we
So-
both did, and not because we didn't have respect for Towns County, but I just think they
Right.
had a tough road trip, state runners up from last year. I don't think many people would pick them.
So our picks, mine was 5 to advance, 3 toss-ups, 6 out. So
I think I
take
had
one of those off. I'm at 0-1 right now
There you go.
as we head into the
I had
losers.
8. I had 8 winning,
You had 8 winning.
and so I missed a couple because we had 10.
I was 5-0 in all of the advancements that we had in the girls' bracket.
Right.
Well, I say 5-0.
Yes.
Union County
Well, they
girls
haven't
could prove
played
me
yet.
wrong tonight.
Right.
Lumpkin girls winning, and 3A White County girls, they were a toss-up. They fell in that one to Kahula Creek.
But they were leading in the second
Yeah.
half in that game. So, we talked about them on our podcast, how their biggest challenge was to avoid, they have a lull almost every game. You just can't have a lull in the state playoffs, and I'm guessing that's kind of what happened. I saw they were up, and then it just, you saw the score for Kahula Creek just kind of keep going, and White just kind of was stagnant. I'm guessing they had that lull in the fourth quarter, and that's never when you want it.
Right.
So,
Never.
But,
Final 8 minutes.
Look, that's a good team. They got some really good players on there. You're going to have some girls that are going to be moving on. Maddie Pooch and Pooch. I can't ever get it right. I'm sorry. I get it wrong
Towel.
every time. And but Daisha Cannon. I mean, those are going to be players. They're going to be playing the next level, and that's a good team. Just for whatever reason, they would just seem to have a lull. Just can't have it in the state playoffs.
Okay, expected winners last night, like expected winners. Rabun County girls, Jefferson girls,
One big,
Buford girls,
one big.
Actually, Habersham Central girls. I picked them to win. I wouldn't say it was an expected winner, as when I say expected winner, the teams that are always
There.
moving on
Yeah.
and there. So
Yeah, you've already got Buford in the final.
yeah, Buford's going to play next. No,
Look, it actually says that.
it does
It
say
does.
that.
It says next. It doesn't really matter. They could pull anybody, pretty much any classification.
So another interesting matchup last night. We didn't know how it was going to go. We felt like it would go the way it did, but the score might have been a bit surprising to some. But the Flowery Branch girls dominated McDonough last night.
Well, they dominated in the second half. I think they outscored them like 41-15 or something like that. They ended up winning by 24 points. But they had the kind of first half that they had against Jefferson in the 8-4A championship, which was playing good defense. Finding points was difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 20-18. I think they were trailing at the half. So, boy, they put together. They just we talked to Caleb, who was at that game, Caleb Hutchins, and what he and Coach Pittman had talked about during the championship game against Jefferson was trying to figure out how to isolate Ashley Locke down low with some ball movement. He said they executed that to perfection in the third quarter, and they turned that 2-point deficit into like a pretty quick 10-point lead, and just took. They outscored them 21-5 or 20-5 in the fourth quarter. And when you outscore your opponent by 15 points in the fourth quarter, you're probably going to win. Probably going to win.
Probably, unless you were down 30.
Well, that's true, but
yeah.
okay. Always trying to make me look bad, aren't you, bud? Wow. And we don't get any do-overs because we're live.
That's the point.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
The
It's there
zingers are
forever.
real here.
Yeah. I'm just going to go off camera now. I'm going to go off camera now.
And it can't. Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that was a hey. That was a moment. That was a hey.
What?
Moment. Hey.
Huh?
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Branch beat McDonough 59-34. The girls. Jefferson girls rolling over North Clayton 82-20.
82-20.
82-20.
Wow. And
Yikes.
Flowery, to tell you how good of a job Flowery Branch did against them in that championship game, they only scored 42 against Flowery Branch. Flowery Branch is playing some defense right now.
While we're talking about the Lady Falcons, round 2, former region foe.
This is one.
Marist.
I think we're doing that one, and
Yeah.
we decided we're going to do that game on radio. Yeah, knocked off Flowery Branch last year. kept them from winning a region title.
Yeah, we decided radio. Am I going to be there? Or is someone going to be there?
That's an off-camera discussion.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have time for that.
You're
But
wasting
you gotta
time,
wonder.
Seth.
You gotta wonder if Flowery Branch, though.
Probably, yes. The answer to your question, yes.
Yes.
I have to get you live because sometimes I'll ask you and you just, okay, and we move on with the conversation.
Okay, that
Well,
was
let's hope
that was a
everybody has
small
a-
staff meeting in the show.
Yeah, it was. Well, I didn't see that in the notes. I don't know. Yeah, that was.
There
pretty
are no notes.
impromptu.
Notes.
No.
Anyway,
Well,
back
you
to
kind of
Marist.
figured Flowery Branch was kind of looking at that and was like, I wonder at the back of their mind. We talked about this on our podcast. Did they kind of want Marist a little bit of revenge? And Flowery Branch is playing pretty well right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've won like 7 of 8 or 8 of 9 coming down the stretch. And including a win over Jefferson. So I like where the Lady Falcons are right now. I think they finally got the guard play that they wanted to go with Ashley Locke. They're gonna be a tough out for anybody.
Yeah, Marist finishing 13-1 in that region. That was Region 6 4A. Arabia Mountain, they were 12-2. They were the second team in that region. Arabia Mountain, was that on the boys' side? I saw them play last night, perhaps
I'm
was.
not sure, but Arabia Mountain beat Heritage Catoosa, and so that's going to be Jefferson's next opponent.
Okay,
Next opponent.
that's
So-
where I saw that.
Right. So you got 6 and 8 matching up. What's interesting is 8-4A went 3-0 last night. North Oconee is still yet to play, and they have Mount Zion at Jonesboro. 8-4A we knew was really strong. 3-0 in the first 3 games. North Oconee wins. They could sweep into the first round, and then you got to like the matchups for all of them. I mean, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that 8-4A on the girls' side has 4 in the quarterfinals.
Possibly, because you look down at this region that Marist comes out of, only 2 teams with winning records. So interesting in the fact that you're in the tournament though, and everything changes. Records
Absolutely.
are thrown out.
Well, that's true.
–
It's how you're playing right now, and right now, Flowery Branch playing very well.
Spec-
Jefferson playing very
Right.
well.
And especially when you get to the second round, because now you've weeded out some of those 4 seeds.
That's true.
And now you're starting to get each round gets tougher. So with that game will be an interesting matchup,
very
Branch and Marist. All right, Jeff, so East Jackson falling last night in a close one there in 3A to Sandy Creek, 40. This is the girls, 48-41. We talked about White falling 50-46. Lumpkin girls winning 58-49 but against Rockmart. But, Jeff, that was not an easy win for the Lady Indians.
No, and we talked to David Dowse. We listened to him last week on the show talk about how he thought that Region 6 and 7 in AAA were the 2 best regions. And he said 4 seed, 1 seed, it's not going to matter. All 4 matchups were going to be tough. And he was right because Rockmart was leading for a good portion of that game. And Lumpkin went, I think, 17-7 in the fourth quarter. Finally, they got Isabel going. They got McKenzie going. The big 3 that they needed to score finally, kind of stepped up in the second half and fourth quarter. And that's what you got to have. But, that's their first playoff win since 1991. I'm almost 99% sure that that's accurate. So if we missed one, but, they hadn't won a region tournament since 91. They've only been to the playoffs a couple of 3 years. So I think that's correct. 30 years. So they have no experience in winning in the playoffs. So they needed to get that first one. I think that's going to be the catalyst to kind of push them forward. We talked in the podcast. I still feel this is a team that can make a run all the way to the championship game.
So Lumpkin's opponent
Westminster.
is Westminster. So that'll be interesting. Region 5, team number 2. That game, I think, is scheduled for Friday.
Yeah.
In Dahlonega.
Westminster is one of those kind of teams you really just don't want to play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They just have a way. So you're going to have, if you're Lumpkin, you're going to have to guard against that. But, you got to figure if they can get a big crowd up in Dahlonega, at Lynn Cottrell Court.
Center. North.
Center, yeah. There's so many Lynn Cottrells at this point.
Yeah.
I get confused. So a big crowd up there would really help them because in that region title game against Gilmer, I think the crowd kind of got them going when there was a chance that they were kind of letting the lead go against Gilmer. So they're going to need that against Westminster.
They're getting to the point where they're going to have to start spelling center with an R-E.
Ooh. be a little pretentious, would they?
I don't know.
Like the Macon Centerplex.
Centerplex. Okay, so North Hall girls falling to Sonoraville the first round, 69-48. On the boys' side, we look down through 3A while we're here because there were only 3 boys' games.
Yesterday.
On Tuesday night.
Right.
So stay in 3A. Dawson County boys over North Murray, 56-35 in a game that was really close until the second half. Actually, until the fourth quarter,
you were
really.
There. What happened?
Yeah, it was just offense was sluggish for Dawson. They were down 25-22.
Did they go eat at the same place Banks County went on Thursday night in the 8-2A championship game?
I'm not sure, but their defense was good. Their rebounding was good.
Well, if you play defense and rebound,
so they kept it
you'll
close.
be in the game.
Then they forced some turnovers in the fourth quarter,
Right.
blew the game open. It held North Murray to 10 second-half points.
That's
10.
insane. That's insane.
Yes.
I mean that's playing some defense there.
Max Tierney with a double-double. I think he had 19 points, 13 rebounds. Tyler Lorraine had 3 points and 14 boards. So Tigers pulling that one off to advance into the second round against the winner of I think it's Salem and Oconee County.
Right. You know, and we talked about that Dawson team have they even reached their peak yet?
I think they're still on the climb.
I do too, and so. That's a kind of a game, you know, after last year, you know, we talked about this on the podcast, and I called it a stink burger, and it was. They lost in the first round with a team that had no business losing in the first round.
Right.
We all thought that was perhaps a semifinal team. So, you know, not all of the guys on this team, some of the guys on this team were there last year. You got to wonder if that was going through their mind. You want to make sure that doesn't happen again. They got that out of the system. They got to win. They're on the upper I'm not sure how good this team is really good, but I think they're getting better every game.
I don't think anybody knows how good this team can be. With the weapons they do have. So it'll be interesting.
And Todd Cottrell has been to the state championship game as a coach. He's been to semifinals. In Lakeview, in arguably the hardest classification in Class A private, was only a couple of baskets from knocking off St. Francis a few years ago. He knows how to win when he gets into the playoffs. So if they listen to him and they keep progressing, I'm telling you, I think they have a shot here.
So Dawson advancing to the second round. They'll host either Friday or Saturday. More than likely, it'll be a Saturday game once they figure out Salem and Oconee County, which, fun fact of the show, former Dawson County coach Thad Burgess is the head coach of Oconee County. So if he can provide the upset, we can see.
We want that.
Yeah.
We want that.
We could see that. That'd be good.
I love that.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
I love Coach Burgess.
Yes.
He was one of the fieriest guys out there on the sidelines. I would love to watch his face turn red. You ever see that?
Did I ever?
So I would love to see that. Coming back to Dawson County, that would be a really fun ball game.
Thad would knock his foot on the floor, beat his foot on the floor. Yeah, that was good. It was always fun to watch that coach, and he's a great coach.
He is.
That'll be interesting if they could knock off Salem and upset them
Thad Burgess
tonight.
A Thad Burgess tidbit you may or may not know.
Tidbit.
He told me a few years ago that he actually came up as a baseball coach somewhere in Alabama, and I can't remember, but it was maybe like an hour north of Tuscaloosa, and that he went to the state playoffs a lot as a baseball coach, and really he felt he was a better baseball coach than a basketball coach. And I was like, well, what are you doing over here coaching basketball? He goes, well, I love basketball.
There you go.
I guess he can coach anything.
Perhaps. All right, so let's move to Class 2A. Banks girls falling to Heard County 49-42. Raven girls beating Haralson County really bad, 71-38.
Really bad. Really bad.
Banks County boys, well, they didn't repeat their region championship shooting woe.
No.
Lackluster performance. You said it was 17 of 25 from the field?
In the first half.
In the first half, so that's huge.
Yeah, I think they went to a timeout and they threw it over the shoulder. It went in. I mean, they could not hardly. I was surprised they had 8 misses. I didn't have them for that. But when I went to the official score, you know, John Bertrand that always sends us stuff, and he goes, "No, I got them for 17 for 25." And I said, "Well, that's still 68%." Like, I thought they were hotter than that. I mean, it didn't seem like they missed. But interesting, that game started off. Seth came in and took some photos and video, but before Seth got there, Coach Griffin told me that on every film tape they had seen on Temple, they pressed all whole game. So Temple gets, they win the coin flip. They get to throw the ball in first, and they held it for a minute and a half.
You do know nobody wins the coin toss.
Or whatever.
It's the visiting team.
Oh, the visiting team gets it, whatever. I don't care.
Anyway.
Okay.
I just wanted to let you know that.
I just think it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
That's it.
I can't wait till we get a camera for me in here so that people can watch me enjoy you guys
Oh,
better.
okay. Yeah.
Who wants to see that?
I do.
There you go. He does. Nobody else wants to see
I think
that.
it's fun.
Well, get a mirror. You can see it.
There you go.
I know
yeah.
you can't see my face right now, but it's sad.
It is. He kind of was sad a little
sad.
bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
That's
Anyway,
unfortunate.
back to Banks County. We should keep track of how many times we go off the tracks.
I don't think we
tracks
can
of tracks of tracks.
I don't think we can
tracks.
count that.
Tracks
high.
of off tracks.
Off tracks.
I didn't know we even had
on
a
road.
I didn't know we actually had a script, really.
We don't.
So,
There's no script.
right. Just wandering, lost in the woods.
Yes.
Pretty much. But Ryan Griffin, the Banks County coach, told me they pressed every game film they had. They came out and they held the ball for a minute and a half. And so the kids kept looking at him on the bench, and, he just, what do you do? I mean, they were sitting back in their zone. That's what they play. And so I heard him say something to the guys out on the court.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what it was. And then all the kids in unison, they just went up and started guarding their guys. And so then, Temple made one pass. It was a turnover. They go down, get I think Pierce Morrison gets fouled, sinks 2 free throws, and then within about 90 seconds, it's 7-0, Banks, and that was all she wrote after that. They just kept increasing the lead. It was an 18-0 run in the second quarter, and, the thing was over at halftime.
Well,
They played great.
You and Seth caught up with Pierce Martin and head coach Ryan Griffin after the game.
Talk about your home court. I believe you're like 7-2 in your last 9 home games. Here you're, I think, 6-1 in the first round. What's magical about this place?
Oh man, it's people around here get so excited when I'll give you a little history. When I played, we wasn't always the best team, and people still came out for us. And now we've had some success over the years. Man, this county is it's a special place. I grew up here. Want to raise my kid here. I don't ever plan on leaving. This floor right here and our fans, they're the best in the state of Georgia. And every coach will say that, but I promise you, I mean it. This is my home, and man, it's so special. Great opportunity to be here.
Well, were you surprised when they held the ball?
Yeah, we were surprised. We haven't seen that since Social Circle. They did it to us a few years ago, but when we saw it, we were like.
Well, yeah, Coach said he looked at y'all and asked y'all what y'all wanted to do. He said y'all wanted to play. Is that because y'all came out and started playing defenses? Was that the players-driven kind of thing?
Yeah, we just wanted to go. We didn't want to stop. We've been warming up for 30 minutes, and we were just ready to go and hustle up and down the court and get some shots up, and they weren't going to stop us from doing it.
But you said you were kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, we weren't ready for them to do that, but they did.
But then y'all got a couple quick baskets. They turned it over now. They started dribbling. They turned it over on the first pass. Y'all went and got 7 quick points. How did that kind of set the tone the rest of the way?
They threw turnovers, and our defense just led to good offense, and that just got us going the rest of the night.
Pierce Martin and head coach Ryan Griffin from Banks County advancing into the second round of the Class 2A state playoffs with a 69-40 win over Temple on Tuesday night, Jeff.
Look, they were up 38 points. Temple scored the last 9 points of the game. That's how dominant that was. A couple interesting things in that interview. Seth pulled out an interesting clip about him talking about their home court advantage. They really have one. Look, that's the best atmosphere in North Georgia to go to a basketball game. Yeah, I'm calling out anybody that's not Banks County. Get an atmosphere, people. That's what it's all about right there, Banks County. You were at the championship game. And that place was packed. It was loud. It's always like that at Banks County. That's a great home court advantage. They've won, I think, 7 of the last 8 first-round games, all at home. They're like 11-5 at home this year. It's a great atmosphere. So that's going to be something that's missed. They're going to be on the road. They're going to be on the road. So how will they handle that? But you heard me ask Pierce about were y'all expecting that when they got Temple held the ball. What we didn't hear was I asked Coach Griffin about that. he said he yelled out on the court, "What do you guys want to do? Do y'all want to play or do you want to sit back?" And so you heard Pierce Ryan go, "No, we wanted to play because we've been warming up for 30 minutes. We wanted to stand there." So the kids are the ones that went out and started playing defense. That wasn't a coach's directive. He said, "What do y'all want to do?" And they all went out there and started playing defense, and then 7-0 in about 90 seconds. Now I tell you what, Temple wanted to hold the ball.
Yeah. So they'll get the winner of Pace Academy and Dade County.
Probably going to be Pace.
Probably going to be a Friday or Saturday game, too.
And Pace Academy is the defending Class 3A state champions. And according to Mike Cleveland, the former Banks County coach, they got everybody back from last year's team and a Division I move-in. Boy, must be tough.
Times are good at Pace Academy.
Apparently so.
The portal works great.
Yeah. So that's going to be, if it's Pace, I mean, they haven't played yet. We're going to assume they're going to win. If they go to, if that is going to, that'll be their biggest challenge of the season without a doubt.
Jeff has called it. Pace Academy is going to win.
Well, their first round game. I haven't called the Pace
Immediate
Academy.
back down. Well,
No. I said Pace is going to win their first round game. They haven't played.
That's
their
what I
first
said.
round.
And there you,
Yes, I'm calling Pace Academy to win their first round game. That would be the biggest upset in the state if they don't lose, if they don't win. Unless Milton loses. Or the Buford girls lose.
Milton's already won.
It's unless
they're awaiting the winner of the Gainesville boys Archer game, which is tonight on Wednesday as we segue into
Bo will have the call on
day numero dos
94.5
round action.
The cool sounds of the lake.
the smooth sound.
Smooth
of
sound. We got to
lake.
get more. We keep saying that every week. We got to get Morgan
If
in
it's-
here.
I'll just get just a floating head of him just saying that, just to pop up on the screen.
That would be good.
It's like right here,
yeah. Ooh.
We'll
Yeah.
have to text him.
That'd be
Yeah.
kind of creepy.
a hologram. All right, so Class 7A tonight, Gainesville boys at Archer, Region 6 number 3 seed versus Region 7 number 2 seed.
Bo, give me your thoughts.
I don't have any.
You have no thoughts. You're going to be calling the game. You have seen Gainesville more than Gainesville's seen Gainesville, just about.
I have seen Gainesville
we
a
have
few
talked
times,
about
just a few
Gainesville
times this year.
Ad nauseum.
Sometimes it's
Does that say it all right there?
Literally, sometimes it's frustrating because when you're watching Gainesville, you know what they can do,
Right.
You know what they've got, then it just doesn't happen. So they're in the same situation they were in the semifinals of the region tournament, which was a week off. Now, basically, kind of in the same situation
Right.
now between
Game.
their last region tournament game and now their first round game, which is on a Wednesday. So history repeats itself. It's not going to be a very good game because that was a 40-37 loss to Denmark in the semifinals.
It's just hard to imagine that team only scoring 37 points. I can't see that happening again.
I think Gainesville has a great shot at advancing to the second round over Archer. Archer's 14-12 overall. You look at that record. I mean, you can look at any record this year and be like, I don't know. Because you don't really know exactly.
The schedules were really strange.
The schedules and how they, you know what I mean by that.
Right.
So,
well, and how many people had they lost? I mean, look at,
mhm.
Ashley Locke for Flowery Branch
Yep.
for that 25 days. Buford didn't play a game for 35 days. There's all kind of weird things going on all year.
Well, Archer, they ended up being the 4 seed. I think that region didn't play a region tournament. No, it did play a region tournament. Anyway.
Yeah, because
Berkmar, or it was
Berkmar won. They knocked out. Didn't Archer beat Norcross? Is that what it was?
I
think so.
One of the two. Actually, Berkmar and Archer, I think, play for the championship.
Right.
I could be wrong on that.
Because Archer
But
knocked off Norcross
that's
when
right.
Norcross was ranked in the top 10.
So
they have the potential to, beat big-time talent.
they do. They have the potential to do that, and you just don't know. It's all about matchups and how they match up against Archer in the first round. They're going over to Archer, playing them. Gainesville can win this game, and Gainesville could win this game pretty easy. But you just got to show up, and everything's got to be clicking. You got to have good play out of Robert. You got to have good play out of Eli. You got to have good play down low. Was said, are the players that have been out for the last couple of games, are they going to be back to add more depth to the bench? Gainesville's a great defensive team. It's just when they get in a scoring lull, it's no fun to watch. So
No.
So Gainesville again. I believe they can advance in this game over Archer. It's just which team's going to show up tonight, and what's the offense going to look like? Because when Robert Reisman goes for about 15, 16, 18, 20 points, normally it's a pretty good outcome. So how is Archer going to defend that?
I don't know. I mean, I honestly kind of feel like Eli Pitts is you've seen the team more than I have, but when he is able to kind of drive and either dish or go to the hole, it just gives him a whole nother dimension. And then it got and of course he can do that. And if you got Set in there, I mean, it's hard to guard that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just big.
Yeah.
I mean, he takes up a lot of space, and he's got good hands. So you can make some difficult passes, and he's going to be able to get it. It's just I'm like you. I feel like that this team has not even gotten close. We talked about Dawson County reaching their peak. I don't think Gainesville has come anywhere near what they can really do this year. Now's the time I would love to see them start to put it together.
Yes, I agree. Gainesville's going to win the boards tonight. They've got to score some points offensively too, and they can do that. They've won the boards in several games this year. So Gainesville can win this game. Gainesville can advance. Milton is waiting on them in that advancement on one of the two teams. So, but still, getting past the first round is a huge step for this Gainesville program, first year in Class 7A. Now down in Class 6A, a struggling Buford boys team will travel to Alexander, a 6:30 p.m. start in Class 6A, and the Buford boys are not the Buford boys of old.
Now there's something missing this year. We talked on our podcast, Shiloh. Now Shiloh's turned out to be the real deal. They're 7th in the state all classifications.
I think Shiloh's always been the real deal.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people weren't really sure. It was with the new class reclassifications and how good was Buford going to be. Lanier has been on the rise. Shiloh was dropping down from 7A, so there was just a lot of dynamics. Decula was supposed to be pretty good. This region just kind of really. It just kind of really didn't do, I think, what a lot of people thought it was going to do. In fact, Lanier ended up winning the region tournament. So Shiloh got knocked off. And Buford beat Lanier, but could not match up with Shiloh. It's just been kind of an odd year. I think Buford can win this game. I think Buford, kind of like Gainesville, I think they have it. They can put it together. They just got to put it together.
Which team shows up.
Exactly. Because there have been a couple of times where we were like, how did Buford lose that game? It's like, oh, well, they won that game. They're just been up and down. I'm sure Eddie Martin, is
pulling his hair out.
Yeah, he didn't have a whole lot left, but yeah, it's
that was Jeff Hart that said that, Coach. Jeff Hart.
Hey, I got no hair, so I'm wearing a hat.
Hey. All right, so a few more key games coming up tonight. Class 3A's got a couple key games. Cherokee Bluff boys traveling to Sonoraville. We'll have that game live for you on WDUN AM 550 and FM 102.9. Caleb and Pitt will have the call of that game, and also another interesting game in 3A, Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe boys versus the White County boys.
I'm going to be at that
in
one.
Cleveland.
I am going to be at that one. That's an interesting matchup right there, because I think White County is better than I think a lot of people are going to give them credit for. Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe, I don't know if they're a traditional basketball power, but here they are, and that's a pretty decent league over there, a region, and they finished 3rd. But I tell you, the White County crowds have been great. They've been loud, a lot like the Banks County crowds have. They're going to need everything that they can get, and this is a winnable game for White County, their first ever home playoff game in school history. So that's worth turning out for right there, just because that's kind of cool. So I'm going to be there and watching that one. It's a game they can win. I mean, we talked about Jordan Ye. They got Cooper Turner. They got several other big pieces. They play really good defense, and when they're shooting, they're hard to stop. So it's a game they definitely can win. They're at home. Would love to see them get that first home playoff win. That'd be great.
Yeah, so they'll be taking on Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe, and then the Bluff boys taking on the 2 seed out of that region in Sonoraville, up in Sonoraville, 20-4. Sonoraville, they finished 13-2 in the region, losing in the championship game of those region tournament. So, you look at Bluff, and Bluff, we've talked about Bluff probably way too much about talking about how they finished because the expectation was so high.
We feel like that's a number one team talent-wise that finished third in the region. They've got talent at every spot, and they just, for whatever reason. Now I know, it's been a strange year for a lot of people. I know they didn't have their full complement of team together for a while. So maybe now's the time they're going to start putting it together. And I think this is a team that has enough weapons that they can do some damage in the playoffs. And, Hart County is out there. If they can get past Sonoraville on the road, there's a good chance to be going to Hart County. Not quite as much of a road trip, but Hart County will
still one.
That's going to be an upgrade in talent from Sonoraville. There won't be any doubt about that. But I think Bluff can match up in a lot of different ways. They can play good defense. They have size. They have speed. They can shoot the ball. They can go inside. They can go outside. They can match up. And it's just a matter of putting it all together at the same time.
Well, Bluff has proved they can score some points. They've also proved that their defense can be good as well. They'll need that tonight as they travel up to Sonoraville. Another interesting game on the docket tonight is going to be the Commerce Boys at Chattahoochee County. And then, of course, we expected Towns County to roll in Class A Public. They host the Manchester Boys tonight at 5 p.m.
That might be the longest road trip in the state for this first round. Wow.
And Towns County's loving it because they don't have to go anywhere for at least, 2, maybe 3 rounds?
At least 2 rounds.
Could be all 4 rounds at home.
Could be. And, that's a neat little place to go watch a game. And it's going to be a road trip no matter who has to come up there. That's a good home court advantage. They're ranked 4th in Class A Public. There's no fluke to the Indians up there. This is a team that I think a lot of people feel has a good shot to get to the semifinals and beyond, perhaps.
Yeah.
Commerce is an interesting team. They're a 4 seed, but I did talk to Russ Gregg. He feels that's a winnable game in his opinion. Chattahoochee, I think it's Chattahoochee County.
Chattahoochee County.
Yeah, they got Chattooga County on there, but I think it's Chattahoochee County. They only played region games. They were 13-1. Really, nobody knows how they're going to fare outside of their region. We don't really know how strong the region was. Commerce has played the toughest schedule, according to Russ Gregg, that they've ever played. Right. And so he said they're prepared for this. They don't mind the long road trip. They're in the playoffs. That's what they wanted. And they're here. And that's a team that can sneak up on people. I think that it's a winnable game.
All right, that game is tonight at 6 o'clock. All right, Seth, you've got some slow-mos happening, don't you?
Yeah, some different stuff. Something that I've been playing around with our open broadcaster program.
You just have too much time on your hands. You can play around with stuff.
Well, I play when I'm not getting bossed around by you two. Which you guys are pretty great, so that's decently often.
Oh, great comeback.
Wow.
There we go.
You really set yourself up there for a moment, and then you came back.
I brought it right back. It was the plan the whole time.
Yeah.
But what I've got is a couple of different...
coiled to go right there.
I understand that. I saw the coil, and I backed off from it, but you guys just didn't know my master plan the whole time. But we've got some stuff that I got from, we brought from Saturday and last night from our playoff basketball. We got some slow-mo stuff. I believe it's 3 clips.
Can't wait to see it. Let's roll.
Let's go.
And we can talk over these too. So check this out. This one from Banks.
Clip footage.
This lovely dunk from Banks.
Oh, yeah.
Do we want to take it slower?
It's a little baseline D.
It didn't slow. Oh,
now
there we
is.
go.
Oh, here we go.
Look at the ups there from Dakota Orr.
And while this is happening,
couple dribbles.
Bring some more in.
Banks County.
I told you, Seth, it's all about the dunk. And he got there because he went and did some stuff at Commerce and got to Banks County at halftime. And I said, "You're going to be mad." He's like, "Why?" I said, "Because you missed the dunk." And then right on cue, that was pretty quick into the third quarter.
Here's something from our Dawson game that we got.
This right here was a key play of the game. The first half. Look at that. 5 at halftime.
Love the crowd there. That's another great play. That's another great play.
I do really enjoy going to Dawson County. The only thing I don't like about Dawson County is I get no service on that court.
That is
Yeah.
correct.
I can't send in my photos. I have no service on the court.
Nobody else does.
Although
I
I'm
agree.
probably the only one that's still like to see that old gym. God, I love that old gym. Man. That
Old
place
gym.
was rocking every time I used to go up there.
So, what's the other clip you got for us,
Our
Seth?
last one, we have one from our Jefferson Flowery Branch playoff game, that championship game, actually. I really like the footwork.
That was a good move.
That was
We
a
will
very
slow
good
it down
move.
a little bit for everybody. It needs to be looped.
Hey,
There we
slow
go.
it, dude. And here it goes.
You see the frustration on actually lock after that. Heading too fast.
There's the move.
No, I mean that's.
Are we ready to see Bo and Jeff's beautiful faces again? Here we go.
Hi.
Okay.
There it is.
All right. So
Here, turn that around. I
we,
wanna look
we
at that.
haven't we haven't talked about one thing.
And that is.
That is this week's.
Will Hart, team
Oh.
of the week.
Wow.
Now,
Much ridicule has
How do
come
we-
my way
There were so many
when I
region
get home
champions.
from this voice. I've realized I need to step it up.
Did your wife like last week's better than the weeks before?
No,
Wow.
no, not at all. I
She's
actually
tough.
had a conversation with her about this literally yesterday. And I was like, what's the deal? What's the problem with the voice? And I love how we're just peeling back the curtain.
Yeah,
It's like,
let's-
Apparently
it's
so.
definitely me. It's never not been me. We all know this. And she was just like, hearing the many voices that you do around the house and that you just do out of the blue when you're not at work, I kind of expected that one to be a little better. And it
just-
hurt a lot.
She's just. she's tough.
Brooke's a savage.
Well,
Yeah.
I will tell you. See, you will benefit from that because she's not gonna give you any quarter. She's gonna expect excellence from you.
As a matter of fact, you're right. No quarter. She takes all my quarters.
as
I'm
you
just,
do.
I'm
So
just
does
kidding.
my wife for
I'm just
laundry.
kidding.
So does my wife for laundry. If we get change, there could be a pile. She's digging in for. So you can have the dimes. You can have the nickels. I get the quarters. I'm like,
All right. So who's your vote for the Will Hart team of the week?
I don't know. I was going to wait for y'all to throw something out. There's
I
so many.
will
I'm
start.
not sure.
We actually didn't have a conversation about this
No.
we
before.
didn't. This is
No.
off the cuff today.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Except
I'm,
none of us are wearing cuffs.
that's right. I'm going to throw my vote out to the Towns County girls.
So we're just going with the playoff stuff
Go with
from
whoever
the
you
first
want.
round. Okay,
Go with
Towns
whoever
County
you want.
girls. That's
Let's go. I mean, pick who
I'm
you
gonna
want.
I'm gonna say Lumpkin girls first playoff win since
Okay,
1991.
okay. All right,
Towns County
so-
girls have been in the Final Four. And
Seth?
it's been many years, but yes,
Seth, you get to go.
you can pick.
Man, you guys always just chuck it to me.
But
Well,
you can
nobody
pick that,
wanted to go
no,
first, so I'm like,
This
Well,
is
here's
true.
the
I
thing.
will
You can
go
pick
first.
a third team, and then we have to go.
I
paper,
know
scissors,
which team
rock.
that I'm on with. I've been partial to this team kind of through this whole
Okay.
process. I've had a lot of time talking with and covering this team. I'm sure you know where I'm leading. Lumpkin County girls.
Okay.
That is my pick. I've spent a lot of time around that team,
I have been outvoted.
and I'm
well you
really
should be.
loving watching them just take their way through this,
Well-
this playoff.
there could be several more down the road if they continue to play like they've been playing.
All right, so Seth, this week's
Will Hart, team of the week.
We
Lumpkin
didn't-
County girls, congratulations. You are our Will Hart team of the week. We do not have any trophies because this segment is not sponsored. But you did get a mention on the show.
There you go.
Everybody good with it?
Sure.
All right, the matchup you're looking most forward to this week
Ooh. I'm gonna tell. Well,
before we roll out of here?
I kind of like that Flowery Branch Marist girls game. I think
that's
that
a
could
good
be
one.
really
That's
interesting.
a
That one's
good
been the
one.
hot topic in the office today.
I mean, there are some other really good matchups. Not Buford, no.
Next.
Sorry. No, I think Buford. Look, Buford is just. I mean, they have set a bar so high, and
Well,
it's hard for them to.
expected. It's
Yeah, it's hard for
expected.
them to live up to anything almost. I mean, the pressure. I mean, all kidding aside, nobody wants to be on one of the Buford teams where the run comes to an end or the streak or they have a mediocre season. I mean, there's a lot of pressure there when you're in that program. But that's when you're building a world class program like Gene Durden has done at Buford. The expectations come with it.
Mhm.
So we kind of kid, but we we expect a lot out of them because they have done that.
You forgot to put legendary coach.
Oh, legendary. I'm sorry, Coach. Legendary coach Gene Durden.
There you go.
Legendary.
Now it's completed.
That's right. I tell you, I would love to see the Gainesville-Milton game.
Yeah,
I would
too.
love to see if Gainesville can get by. I think that's a game that kind of makes me go, that could be interesting. I'm gonna have to wait and see how the rest of the brackets shape up. But those are two games I think I'm kind of would like to see in the next round.
I'm with you. Branch, Marist, looking forward to seeing what happens with that, just because of the history.
Right.
And it is, a number 1 seed versus a number 2 seed.
Right.
And Branch is continuing to.
They're finally hitting
get
what
the
we
roll
thought they
going.
could do this year.
Yeah.
Quick plug, guys. We've got our first comments.
And
It is from Curtis Honeycutt, if I'm saying that correct. He says, "Hello, love the vids. Thank you, Curtis."
high five back to you, Curtis.
Yes. Is that
Thanks
high five
for
or
watching.
clapping hands?
Or clapping hands.
I think it's clapping hands.
Yeah.
Either way, still a crisp high five for you.
There you go. All right. Thanks, Curtis, for the comment. That's a wrap for the show today. We will have coverage tonight of Gainesville at Archer on 94.5 The Lake and streaming at AccessWDUN.com. We'll also have radio coverage from Sonoraville as Cherokee Bluff travels up to Sonoraville tonight, and we'll have that coverage for you on AM 550 and FM 102.9 WDUN. So check those out. Also streaming live at AccessWDUN.com. Seth has one more thing for us.
One last thing, guys. I want to start making that slow-mo cam a thing that we do. I want to get audience suggestions as well, so please either comment or check out the description of this YouTube live stream. I'll put my contact info in there.
Mm-hmm.
Send me time codes, screenshots, whatever you want. Check out our highlights and show me some moments either in our highlights or in some stuff that anybody else has. I'm open to clips sent in from anybody else.
So you're soliciting.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Kind
Love
of.
it.
Yeah, just 100%. Either get me the highlights that you want or show me which highlights that I've shot or that we've shot that you want slow mode. Just let me know, and we'll be glad to do it.
How about just viewer submissions of videos, period?
Heck yes.
Bring them on.
You may be
Athletic
busy,
videos,
Seth.
football,
you may be
basketball,
busy.
sports.
I may be busy.
Softball,
Busy is good.
soccer, baseball,
All of the sports.
all of the sports videos. All right. So thanks for that.
You're
So,
welcome.
Thank you.
This message from the producer.
Check us out on Twitter at HeartJJ22. I'm at the Bo Wilson. We're at WDUN Sports. Keyword search on Instagram and Facebook. Access WDUN Sports. For Seth, our producer, doing a fantastic job as always. And Jeff Rohart, I'm Bo Wilson. Enjoy the first and second rounds now of the Georgia High School Association State Tournaments coming up tonight, and second round starting this weekend.